amazing time today. We are live already. In case you are here to join us, you're actually missing out. This is the best place you have to be on the surface of the earth right now. It's going to be a very, very impactful session today. Our, special guest is all ready, and we are having a new series of Business MuMu. It's unusual. This will not come every time, every week. It's once in a while, and we are having it today. It's a pleasure to have our friend, our brother, our daddy. Is just everything, and it's amazing to have him here to share with us not just the good part, but also the bad and the ugly part of what it means to start something and to grow it. This is Founder Story, a Business MuMu series, and it's a pleasure to have you. We're going to, have a lot of interesting highlights today. So just get set. Get set. There's somebody that is there to join us. Tell the person to join us now, because at some point in your life, you are going to found something. So get here. And at this point, you're already a founder. There's something you need to know. You can't know everything. You need to learn from other people's experience. This is intentionally for Africa, because we want a lot of people to know how to do things the right way. It shouldn't just be that, okay, I actually wanted to do it, but there was no way for me to do it. And that's why we're going to be having this session. So I want you to just, take a back seat now, rest your back on your seat, get a glass of water, and then let's do this together. It's going to be amazing. It's already amazing. You can see this is the first time I'm wearing a cap on a show like this. Yeah, I like the way it looks, really, really nice. I want you to just, sit back and let's do this. Thank you.
Let this circle represent $1 million. This is what $10 million would look like. This is what $100 million would look like. And this is what $1 billion would look like. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, has a net worth of 117 times this number. And then there's you. You're probably working a job right now, one that you got from the degree that you studied for in university. You probably don't have much in savings. Your living expenses seem ridiculously high. You feel as though you're not paid enough. You have credit card debt that needs taken care of. Maybe you're a student, studying for a degree that you hope can land you a job that you hope can bring in some good money. You probably don't have any savings, only a pesky student debt hanging above your head. Wealth? Getting rich? That all seems like a distant dream. How did they do it, you ask yourself? Seeing all those millionaires, billionaires, especially the ones who got there at such a young age, it baffles you, it makes you angry. They got lucky, they were born into wealth, they cheated their way to the top. Money doesn't make them happy. Money is evil anyway. I'm not smart enough, I'm just unlucky. Those dreams you had of buying that mansion, your favorite sports car, paying off your mortgage, traveling around the world, they'll forever remain that way. Just dreams, be more. Nothing less. You come to the harsh realization, it's a rigged game. It's been a rigged game from the start. And you're on the losing side of it. But what if I told you you were wrong? What if there was a way of getting there? An actual equation to wealth, a science behind the way money works. What if you didn't have to abandon those dreams of paying off your parents' mortgage or traveling around the world? Would you call me a liar for saying so? I promise that I'm not, and by the end of this video you'll understand. There's a side to the coin that you're not being shown. But I warn you, the road is tough. It's filled with struggle. It's filled with ups and downs. It will mean swallowing some difficult truths that the school system and society haven't told you yet. And let me be clear, there are many of you who will not make it to the end of this road. But for those of you that do, at the end of this road lies wealth beyond what you thought you could attain. At the end of that road lies the freedom of never having to worry about money again. So, are you with me?
Are you with me? Yeah, we are coming back to that. That was a nice introduction. It's just for us to be able to awaken certain part of our brain cells, and we get to work. This is founder story. We want to learn how things are built, how they have been built, and how best they can be built. We don't want to just learn from all of those untested theories. We want to learn practical experience of people who are doing them in Africa. In Africa. Sometimes a billion naira is rent from a million naira. I mean, a dollar is rent from a naira. Not because of the conversion, but because of the reality of these two denomination or currencies. It's good to have us, and it's a pleasure to have our special guest here today already. I'm so excited about the fact that is just already for us. We are going to be playing the as an interlude. Just don't forget where we stop. So that we can go, because we are going to be having a very emotional session today, because he's going to be telling us some things, and I would expect him at some point to want to even cry, because I'm going to ask him about his regrets. I'm going to ask him about, those failures. I'm going to ask him those times. I remember there was a time like that, he shared with us how he was making sales, but there was no profit. That was one of his venture then with him, picnic and all of it like that. So we're going to be going really deep, today. And see, if you are not ready to hear the truth, stay beside the person who will listen to the truth and tell you, because all will be true here today. It's good to have you. Before I, welcome and introduce our special guest, it's a pleasure to have my friend Prince David here with me today. He's looking all kinky, looking all handsome. It's good to have you, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you.
Yeah, your smile today is a founder smile. Like you're founding it. Yeah. So it's good to have you, sir. When Prince came, he said, "Our smile look alike," and me, it was a pleasure, because why will I not say yes? When my smile looks like the smile of a great man, it's a real pleasure, a great pleasure to have that. At least our smile looks alike. Yeah, if you look at both of us, see that our smile looks alike. So it's good to have you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm part of those people that are calling Bishop. So if you don't know his name, look at his name on the screen. But I'm going to be introducing him as Bishop, and he's really Bishop. He is a man of great essence. He's a man of great essence, faith, and power. He believes absolutely in what God can do, and he has been that man. He's been tested in all dimensions, and seriously, he has not failed us in any way. So it's a pleasure to have you here today. Why I'm so excited about the fact that he's here today is that he's not just a founder. Is okay, if you can say maybe founders in one person. He's got so many stuff that he has started, and they are still doing well. It's a great experience, different and diverse experience, different industry, and here he is today standing, and it's a great pleasure. Let me allow him, to smile for us by himself, so that I will not be smiling a smile. So it's a pleasure to have you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Wow, it's good to have you, sir. Before I go back to play the video a bit again, I want you to just introduce yourself by yourself. I know you are going to be conservative as much as possible. Many times, I don't want to help people to blow their trumpet. I want them to blow their trumpet by themselves.
So what do you want to know? What
Are you there?
how do I introduce myself? My name is Oluseyi Akinyoyenu. My friends call me Bishop. Um, I have over 20 years experience, both working for multinationals and working across different industries and different organizations. I I have started a number of businesses. I know what it feels to succeed in business. I know what it feels to fail in business. Um, I am. I am a father of three children. The picture you see behind is the picture of my late wife. She died in January, but we are moving on, and God is on the throne, and we are finding ways to make progress. So that's my story.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing us that very emotional story, and that's something that I really appreciate about you. That reality, that realness every time. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, sir. I would like you to just rest a bit from that before we go ahead, and let's have the video
Thank
again.
you.
Still with me? Then let's not waste any more time.
Okay.
What do you really think about money? Is it something you work for? Is it earned or is it inherited? Is it the root cause of all evil? Are you desperate to have more of it? Have you been chasing it most of your life? Truth is, most of what you think about money has been influenced by your upbringing and environment. If you were born into a family that didn't have much money growing up, then you're more inclined to believe that you too will not grow up to have much money. Or perhaps you went on the complete opposite end and decided to make as much money as you can so that you will never be in that position again. The fact that your school didn't teach you much about this subject doesn't help things. And because of this, most of you are going to have false beliefs about money that aren't going to help you on this journey. Now stick with me here, because we're going to have to change the way you've been seeing money your whole life. Hollywood has always had a habit of depicting the wealthy and rich as evil, backstabbing, entitled, or corrupt individuals.
If you will get this squirrel, I'll get one myself.
Question is, have you bought into that stereotype? A recent report released by WealthX showed that of the world's ultra-wealthy, those that had a net worth of 30 million or more, 68% of them were self-made. And it seems like every other study backs up this conclusion. Warren Buffett, self-made billionaire. Howard Schultz, born in poverty. Oprah Winfrey, born in poverty. Jeff Bezos, self-made billionaire. Elon Musk, self-made billionaire. Sarah Blakely, self-made billionaire. What is it that these people know that you don't? Truth is, your equation is all wrong. Here's the two-dimensional equation that you've been taught. Money equals salary earned from a job. Past a certain point, the prospect of getting a job becomes the sole purpose of your education. So what's wrong with that, you ask? I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, you want to make money. A lot of it. And in as short amount of time as possible. If that is your goal, then this equation for generating money will never get you there. We all have one precious resource, the most important resource of all. And once it's gone, there's no way of getting it back. That resource is time. In a standard job, the amount of money you earn is dependent on the amount of time you put into that job. If you earned $20 an hour and worked 40 hours a week, it would take you nearly 24 years to reach a total of $1 million. But that is without subtracting any taxes or any expenses that you will incur over 24 years. And let's not forget that inflation would make $1 million less valuable. The reality is that on a salary of $20 an hour, you can only really be a millionaire at an old age by living frugally. And most of that precious resource known as time has slipped through your fingers. You traded all that time for money, and it wasn't even a substantial amount either. So again, you ask yourself, how is it then that there are self-made millionaires and billionaires at such young ages? What makes them so different? And the truth is, they have a better equation than you. They have a way of understanding money that you haven't quite grasped yet.
Yeah. We come back now and let's go all ahead. This is Founder Story, a series of business MuMu. And it's a pleasure that we are starting this on a very high note. This is, a very good time for us to start this. And why are we doing this? Our, goal for business MuMu is to reduce business mortality rate in Africa. We want to see how we stop hearing, yes, after 2 years, 8 out of every 10 businesses, we die, we do this, and we are tired of that. We should not keep recycling that same bad story. what can we do about it? Now, you shouldn't wait that, okay, yeah, it's going to be the government that will do this, that will do that. It's now obvious that we need to think about what we can do for our government and not what the government can do for us. So, and that's why we are doing this. Why are we doing this, and how are we, looking forward to achieving all of the lofty goal? Just one goal now, not even all. Just this, our lofty goal is for us to, furnish people with the right information, give them, the perspective that is needed for possibility. People know what to do when you tell them how to do stuff. But when the how is hidden from people, you see people going all around and trying to see what they can do. And in that way, some people are lost. Some people become victims of circumstances and all of it like that. So now, more particularly, we don't just want to come and tell you, okay, about what is happening in one industry or the other. We also want you to be able to relate with people's story. When you see that man say, yeah, that is true. That was how he started that billion-dollar, company. That was how he started this. That was how he started this. Yeah, I think when it's, and one of those things that I've come to realize is that the misconception about money, the video we're actually playing, has made a lot of people to feel like, okay, when they feel certain level of discomfort from a place of work, then yes, they have to go and start something. They just want to, become boss and not even care about what it takes to be a boss. They just, hey, you talk to me like that. What does it mean? Next morning like this, he has started something. But, they are going to fall among the eight that will not do well after, 2 years, if at all. They can even, wait till that time. So it's going to be very interesting to have people's story that we can relate with, hearing how they started in Africa. We want you to be able to understand that, okay, not minding all of the problems, all of the challenges, all of those reasons, the 1001 reasons why you should not do something that we have here in Africa, yet some people are still doing something. Yes, some people will still do something. And there are some people that are already getting worried already. We don't want you to be worried. We want you to come and get something. So I will not waste any further time to bring up stage our special guest today. It's really amazing and so interesting to have you, sir. I can remember, the promotional video we had, how it took us time. We just like, okay, let's do this, okay, let's do that, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And I was just looking at it. That was just very small, when it comes to doing anything at all. And when you see a man that is doing so much and can still pay attention to little details, it means a lot. Thank you so much for coming around today. I have few questions for you, and the questions are going to be centered around story. I'm using words very well. Story. 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 Give us effective or what we want to do. In case you are just joining us now, to welcome you to today's session of Business MuMu. It is a special one. You can see it from my car. That's a special one. So very special, and it's the founder's story. You won't find this everywhere, anywhere, all the time. It only comes wrong. Definitely, you will not have edifice. Yeah. Story, like I said, STORY. The S stands for saving grace. The T stands for time. The O stands for opportunity. The R stands for regret, and the Y stands for yieldedness. So that is going to be our cycle. But I will definitely bring out 5 questions that will center around story. So just sit down, enjoy yourself, and enjoy this story. It's not the academic, as usual, all of those information, and you're trying to jot down something in your mind this time. Get that power and get to work. It's really going to be impactful. I know that already. I can feel it already. The energy here is obviously on a very high note. It's good to have you, sir. So my first question for you today. Don't mind me. I
You
said it's
sound like who wants to be a
oh,
millionaire.
exactly. That was that was the plan. So it's going to be a lot of emotions because truth will not come out when we don't speak from the place of our heart, and that's what we're going to get today. That's one of our strong point on this platform, the realness. That realness. So the first question I'm going to ask is the question of time. The question of time. Why did you start what you started? And how did you know when actually to start whatever you started?
When? The when question is a difficult question to answer simply because when happened so many times. When did not happen at once. It wasn't, I can say, 1224 was set up in 2014. But before 2014, there was a company that was set up in 2008. Before 2008, there was a time we were trying to do business without a company name and using other people's company name to try and do business. So it's the when is not something that has a fixed answer. The truth of the matter is a lot of this is really born out of one, passion, two, opportunities. When opportunity shows up at a particular time, whether you are ready for it or not, does not stop the opportunity from being there. What you do with it at that time is what matters. So I've had opportunities that I just sent to the registered business of my friends, and we got it done. The opportunities that showed up that I was not skilled or I didn't have competence in them, and we just found ways to make it happen. But the truth is, I have always wanted to grow something from scratch. I have always wanted to be able to say, I can do this, I built this. I've always wanted to point to lives being transformed. That's one thing that drives me. My my purpose in life is defined by three words, just three: making lives better. It's as simple as that. Once I could define everything I do in that three words, making lives better, whether it's from a technology point of view, whether it's from a training point of view, whether it's from a business or from a people point of view, everything I do revolves around those three words. Every time somebody meets me, every time somebody comes in contact with me, the end goal for me is to make that life better. And one of the vehicles is through the business I do. And because of that, it also brings me returns in terms of financial, in terms of my heart being content, in terms of happiness and joy. Did that answer your question?
Yes. You answered the question. You answered the question. But I still feel like we can still get more out of that question. Now, for us in Africa, I started up, with it as a story. That you see some young people, for instance, they just feel like, okay, yeah, I don't like the way my boss is treating me. And when it becomes persistent, they begin to tell themselves in their head through some dreams, through some aspiration, through some head talk. They just try to convince themselves that I think it's about time I will start my own because when stuff are come like this, it's telling you that it's your time. And many times the thing is this: what they're actually trying to run away from, they are going to meet it where they are going to. So,
Yes.
but there's something I know about life that if probably they had stayed longer, they would have been able to. Sometimes, yeah, there are a lot of advocacy now for mental health, a lot of advocacy now for a lot of stuff that okay, when it's not, this and that, get out of the place. And people that are telling you that they are not losing their own job, people that are telling you that you should job. They are not losing it. And so many times they come under the disguise of okay, mental health. They come under the disguise of okay, yes, don't allow anything affect your mental health. So a lot of people have walked out of the furnace. They have walked out of that theater of of destiny, where they will have gotten all of those necessary ingredients that will help them wherever they are going to, if they will eventually have to found something, definitely. So, but when I want us to be able to clear that very thin line, that okay, is it when you are feeling really pressed, when you are feeling really oppressed, you are feeling really whatever it is at your place of work now, or whatever it is, when should you start something?
So let me help a few people clarify something. When is different for each person. For some people, when I speak to students in schools, one of the things I tell them, there are people that are built for entrepreneurship, and some people from day one set out to go that route. Some people will only work for other people as employees, and it does not mean that they cannot be wealthy. Some people will do both. I do both. I've done both sides. The truth of the matter is your when is there's nothing called a fixed when. Sometimes it comes from a dissatisfaction, sometimes it comes from a leading. It comes in different diverse ways for different people. For some people, you start it as a side hustle and it grows to the point where you cannot manage the two, and you decide to give attention to that one. For some, it is from day one. I don't see myself working directly with somebody. But the truth of the matter is, those things have a way of affecting you down the road. One of the things that has helped me, for example, is because I've worked in structured environments, I understand structure. Because I've worked in structured environments, I understand basic finance and governance. I don't just dip my hand into the business account and say, I need 50,000 there. Take it. Because I understand corporate governance. I have been on the board of an organization that was regulated by SEC, and I know what regulators require from businesses. So, and it's that mindset that drives my own business too. It's not a money came in today, you remove it tomorrow. You structure it, you plan, you do all those things, and those are things I have learned on working for other people. That's one. The other thing is I have learned how networks operate. I have learned how companies grow, why they fail, why they succeed, by looking at what other people have done. Those are things that have worked for me. I see some people that started out from day one running their own business. They succeed, they do well, but there are a few missing nuances here and there because they've not learned from some other people. They've not experienced some things different from what they know. And that is why some people decide at some point to go to maybe a business school to go learn some other things just to make themselves balanced. The when is up to you, is determined by multiple factors. For for all you know, the boss putting you under pressure may actually be a good thing. It may just be at that point that all the skills, all the things you had inside of you that you didn't know begin to show up. Remember this, your teeth will be rotting if you refuse to press the toothpaste tube.
Mm, mm.
That press must happen for the toothpaste to come out of it. So
Yes, sir.
that press comes in different ways for every one of us, different dimensions. You don't know how strong you are until you go through that pressure. And that furnace, like you mentioned, is required. Go and ask every successful person. They've gone through that furnace at different levels, different degrees at one time or the other. If somebody thinks I've not thought of quitting, I have. It's a thought that, yes, it's a thought that has come at different times when I lost different levels of money or when backstabbing or betrayals happened. At times you just feel like, no, I'm not doing again. There are times when my wife felt we have lost enough money. Let's calm down first. When we are ready, we will start again. But my adventurous nature kicks in and I become restless and I move. And once she agrees with me that, okay, it seems you are very sure about this, let's move. And then we do. But that is my story. What is your own story is determined by so many factors that you need to consider. How are you built? What do you know? What's your passion? Why do you want to do what you are doing? Who are the people you want to help save? Because every business is saving somebody.
Yeah.
Every single business, you are saving somebody. Maybe you are saving their time. Maybe because you are increasing their efficiency, you are saving them from health issues. You are saving them from one problem or the other. Every business is out to solve a problem. And once you solve that problem, you are impacting people in the process.
Yeah, thank you. I feel satisfied now. It's a good one. So, on behalf of everybody that is watching us now, I know you feel a bit of satisfaction as to when to start. It's a different time for everybody. We may be in the same time, but we are in different seasons. Our lives are in different seasons. No matter what it is, don't say because okay, yeah, last year your friend resigned, so I think your own should be this year. No, 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 it shouldn't be like that. You must know, okay, when a fruit will not drop from the tree by itself except it is ripe. So you must know when to drop. Guide as much as possible against the guys that are stoning you, that are trying to bring you down before your time. You understand? Because when they bring you down before your time, you are not going to be valuable to the consumer. You are not going to be valuable for anything, good at all. So that was really, really interesting. Prince, I've been seeing you nodding your head. You are you satisfied with that answer?
I'm superbly satisfied. I'm superbly satisfied. But I'm sure
Okay, okay.
curiosity will soon be stirred up.
You said what?
I said I'm very sure my curiosity will soon be stirred up.
Oh, okay, no problem. We are getting there. Thank you so much for that, sir. So, the second question is this. Remember we say we have it around story, the saving grace, the time, the opportunity, the regret, and the yieldedness. Now, the second question is this. Look back. What would you have not done?
So one of the things I just looking back now that you mention it, I think I should have started a bit earlier. That's one. Two, I think I should have gotten my documentations right on time. Let me explain. One of the businesses I once started, or one of the businesses I registered, I had to abandon that business as a corporate entity because I didn't fix documentation when I was supposed to be fixing documentation. I just left it there, and when it was time to do business, I found out that that business entity will cost me more to resurrect it. So I decided to start a new one entirely to go run it. And in the process, I learned a lot of lessons which I am currently using today. A simple example, if you have a business, you've registered a business somewhere, and that business is currently not making any money, please let me help you. Take some time out to do your filings, your tax, your all the regulatory documentations. Because when the opportunities show up, it may be that simple line item that may hinder you. There are people that will not do business with you if you don't have your tax clearance. They will not. There are levels of business you cannot do if your documentation is not complete. So, a simple story. I wanted to register with the Lagos State Bureau of Public Procurement, and I kid you not. If you see their list of requirements, the only thing they didn't ask for was my DNA. That in fact, it was during that registration that I found out that everybody in Lagos, every Lagosian is supposed to pay 100 naira every year. 100 naira every year to LRS on tax matters. So they now said I must pay for 3 years for at least two directors on the board. 300 naira. 100, as simple as 100 naira. It sounds simple. But when I saw that thing, it didn't make sense to me. But it's something that may have hindered a business. Tax certificates. They also asked how much withholding tax or any form of tax have I paid in the last 5 years. As a person, not even as the business. As a person, how much tax have I paid in the last? Can I prove it? Blah blah blah. I had to go to LRS to go get documentation. Several interesting things. Please keep your business up to date, even if you seemingly just registered it and you left it there. When it is time, that business will yield. It will bring in increase. Those are the things, if I look back, there are several others, but just off the top of my head, that is one thing I look back from a time point of view that I could have done better and a bit faster or a bit earlier. Let me use that word.
Wow, interesting, interesting. Prince, you are not yet stirred up.
Except, of course, you want me to ask a question.
Yeah, in that line, keep plugging that same question
Yeah, yeah.
about regret.
Yes, yes. I remember you mentioned something. Times that you should have given up. Like even the wife talked you at the back and said, "Honey, calm down, calm down." Those times when maybe losses came in and or maybe backstabbings. Those were your exact words. And of course, from Jack Ma's wisdom, he has this saying that we don't really learn so much from how people succeeded. We learn better from the things they did that might have been hindrances at some point in their journey. So at those times when you lost money or when you had backstabbing, were they things that just came from, I mean, other people, or you had a hand in people backstabbing you? You had a hand in, taking a wrong deal, dealing with the wrong client or something, something that brought those losses that, of course, made you want to quit at those points.
So my answer to you is all of the above. Option D, all
Hey,
of the above. There were some of it that they were my fault. There were some that I was naive. There were some that it was just a case of lack of knowledge.
mm,
So let me give you a simple example. I once tried to do business with a group of people that I had already known. And in my head, I felt I have the skill, I have the competence, I have the experience, but I didn't factor in one. And the key thing was the people I was trying to do business with were not comfortable that I had applied for that business. It was later I found out that in their discussion, they felt that if I get that business in their organization, they will not be able to control me. They will not be able to talk to me to say, go left, go right. But I was seeing it from the angle of I know everybody that is sitting there. I know all of them, and I have the competence. So I went for the business meeting, and the questions started coming. It was so bad that one of them had to get up in that meeting and tell the rest, "Are you all kidding me? All of you know him. You know his competence. Why are you all asking these stupid questions?" That came from one of them in the same room. It was later their boss. I sent an emissary to their boss, who I also know. And that one spoke that we were supposed to get this business. Said the truth of the matter is, if we give this business to him, because they all know each other, it will be difficult to tell him if he's right or if he's wrong or anything. And they all had to find a way to get him out of the equation. That was my own naivety at work. The business where I lost money was because we didn't drill down. I've spoken to this to Olatunji before. We didn't drill down to the cost per item. For us, we were selling, we were making sales, but we were losing, we were not having profit. And the best way we did that to go back and fix it was to just get somebody who understood cost accounting, and we could get the nitty-gritty of how much we were making per item that we were selling. So that one was just me, lack of knowledge. So different things have happened. Sometimes you just wake up and you're like, okay, I had 1 million when I started this. How much do I have now? And then you are seeing that that 1 million, you can't even account for it. And then somebody tells you that, you see that 1 million, if you had done this, if you had just dumped it in one fixed deposit, it would have brought you, even if it is 3,000 naira, it would have brought you something. That money has gone down the drain. So calm down, relax yourself, drink water. When we finish drinking water on that 1 million and we get another 1 million, we will think about whether we should go into that business or go and find another business to use that 1 million for. Those are the real things that have happened. Sometimes you just get discouraged, sometimes. But at this stage, it's part of the process. I hope I answered your question, Prince.
Yeah, of course, of course. I feel like we should take a short break.
Pay very close attention now. Stop chasing money. In a capitalist society, the rules of the game are as follows. You are paid in proportion to the perceived value that you have. And the people that perceive your value, they are the market, the consumers of the economy. The market is you, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your country. People complain that football players are overpaid, but for players to be paid millions, there has to be a market for the football industry in the first place. People have to see the value in football in the first place for them to want to spend money on matches and merchandise. And if the market is high demand for football, guess what happens to the players who are at the top of their game? They are paid generously for it. It's not about how hard you work. The cleaner that's sweating and tiring himself out every day is paid far less than the accountant sitting behind a desk. Why? Because the market perceives the value of what the cleaner does to be far less than the accountant. As harsh as it may sound, the cleaner can be replaced by anybody. It isn't difficult to learn how to do his job, and therefore the market will not pay him more than the accountant, the guy who spent years studying numbers, the guy who has saved his clients thousands on their taxes. But even so, we just discussed how getting a job isn't the right equation to amassing a great amount of wealth in a shorter period of time. So then how can we increase our perceived value? What is it about people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos that makes their perceived value so high? The first step to this equation of wealth is quite simple. If you want money, solve problems. If you take a second to digest this statement, you'll realize that just about all money runs from this basic premise. If it solves a problem, money will be thrown at it. If it's $1 million problem, then the solution will make you millions. If it's $1 billion problem, then the solution will make you billions. Think about all the problems that a site like Amazon solves. The hassle of going to a store, the hassle of having to wait weeks for a delivery, cheaper prices, and so on. Not to mention all the other companies that Amazon owns and the problems that those companies solve. Jeff Bezos helped solve $1 billion problem and was rewarded favorably for doing so. If you've been chasing money, then you've been doing it all wrong. It sounds almost paradoxical, but if you want money, it isn't money that you should be looking for. You should be looking for problems, and more importantly, solutions to those problems. And once you found...
Yeah. That was a good break. Okay. Now, welcome back. Thank you so much. I have another question very quickly. And this one now, it's like the previous question, but in another way, it's actually going to be coming from the perspective of, okay, like what was the the saving grace or your yieldedness? What was actually that comeback strength that you had? So yes, you fell at some point. How did you stand again, and what kept you going?
So the first thing is a personal belief that you're supposed to do this, whether you fail at it or not. You just know that this is one of the things I'm called to do. This is one of the things that drives you. So no matter how many times you fall, you keep getting back up and you keep pushing. The second thing is having the right set of people around you. Um, Somebody who can tell you, yes, you messed up. This is why you messed up. So get back up and get moving. The third thing is sitting back and checking yourself. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Or what did I do right that ended up wrong? So you can check all the boxes and say that yes, I did everything right, but this still failed. Who remembers what the CEO of Nokia said when the company was going down? They said we did everything right, but the company still went down. That happens to some people sometimes, where you just go through everything. You feel down that I put in all the effort, I put in all the energy, I've done all the review, and it feels like I did everything right, but somehow this just didn't work out. One of the businesses I did failed not because of anything we did wrong. It failed simply because of the dollar.
Mm, mm,
I didn't
mm.
have control over it. The company we were doing business with then even struggled to get products from outside the country. It was their mother company outside Nigeria that was helping them to pay their dollar, all their vendors that they had outside the country. So that one was helping the big company do that stuff. And at some point they couldn't sustain that business because the dollar went out of hand. Because if you've gone to the market this year alone, you will find out that products have increased in price at least 5 times this year.
Yes.
So, and I was doing a product-based business at that time, and it was not sustainable again for them. So, option A, we stop. Option B, we lose money. So, will I say that was a failed business? It was a business that ended because not because of what I control, not because of what that company controlled, but because the macroeconomics affected it and every other thing around it went down. The truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, we couldn't continue and 40 people had to stop working. So that's my story.
How did you stand again, and what kept you going? You have answered it, but I just wanted to buttress that.
So standing again required first going back to the drawing board to check. The second thing is getting encouraged. You encourage yourself, have the right people to encourage you, not people pointing out your flaws alone or pointing out telling you that you can't make it. Having people tell you that you are brilliant, you know this stuff, you can do it, you've done it all this far, you can make it happen. You made a mistake in this area. Can you learn it? Go and find ways to learn the areas that you made a mistake, or you pay for somebody to make it happen.
Yeah.
As I speak to you today, there is somebody that handles the tax and related items for the business. I don't. Instead of sitting to go and learn tax and all those things, I know the basics, but I pay somebody to get it done. So I pay for areas that I outsource areas that I don't have competence. Let somebody who knows it do it. You can't know everything. If somebody else knows it, allow that person do the work and you pay for it.
Mhm.
And it frees you to do the one that you are very good in. So those are the things that we did. And the truth of the matter is you get stronger with time.
Yeah.
Eh, Let me give you a very an interest. Many years ago, as at 2004, my target then was 70 million per month when I was working for an organization. I used to dream of the number 70. As if you will sleep and the number will be turning in my sleep. The last company I worked for, my target then was about 2 billion or so, or 3 billion or something like that. No, it was about 3 million euros. Yeah. And for me, it was just a number. Numbers don't scare me again. In those days, I would dream about it. Now, bring whether it's 200 million, you call it, or 500 billion, you call it. It is just a number. It came by reason of experience. You get to that point where numbers or things don't scare you again. You have seen good, bad, ugly. I know what it feels like to do 39% of target. And I know what it feels like to do 150% of target. So what more do you want that I've not seen in between? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, very well, sir. Very well, sir. So, the wine gets really better with time. Aging, you get better, and that's it. That's the point of the place of experience. There was one viral post that time. They needed to fix something on a ship, and they were looking for a lot of people to come do it. And they could not fix it. And one old engineer came, old man, and he came, and he just few touches, he fixed it. And they're like, "Hey man, why?" And he told them, that's actually because of his long years of experience. And that's it. It's about momentum. The bigger the mass, the faster. And I mean, okay, now the bigger the mass and you have velocity too coming together with it, now the more you can actually make impression. You understand? So the more you can make impression, the hand of a rat cannot do the same thing as the hand of a lion. You understand? Even though the rat is the fastest animal in the world, but when the lion is not even the fastest, but has some level of strength, comes into the picture, it's able to do much more. Prince, you are looking at me as if you are curious this time. Anything? Prince.
We can't hear you, Prince.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
I said let's carry on, so I don't break your flow. I'm already really enjoying myself.
I missed your statement. Prince.
Yes, sir.
I missed your statement. I think it was shaky.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I said let's carry on, so I don't interrupt the speaker's flow. It's on a high level now.
Maybe I'm not hearing you. I doubt if you can hear
Prince
you.
said let's carry on. Prince said let's carry on.
Okay. Thank you. Let's carry on. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, that was a nice one. Key lessons. We are going to talk about key lessons, for founders, intending founders, and the families and friends of the founder. They need to learn some lessons, because sometimes our work life, our personal life, and our family life, they have that connection that whether you like it or not, it's a cup that pours into the other one, and there's just that interconnectivity that makes the feeling you have at work to affect the people at home when you get home. If somebody angered you at work, you can get home and then everybody will hear it that day at home. And if home is nice enough, when you get to work, there can still be certain level of balance, even when they are trying to get you vexed at work. And before we take that, let's take our video a bit.
Found that solution, make a business around it. Wait, so that's it? Just solve problems and money will appear? So I'm going to create the next Amazon for me to be rich, or the next Facebook or Google? You've got to be kidding me, right? I don't even know how to code. I don't even have the money to start something of that scale. I don't even... Hold on. You're once more going into old patterns of thinking. Start with the problem. Always start with the problem. Listen to the market around you. What are people saying they don't like? What are people saying they wish existed? What are people saying frustrates them? What do people think is incredibly inconvenient? Is that a problem that you can solve? And also, is it a problem that is worth solving? The final step of this equation to wealth is finding a scalable solution to the problem. Your solution needs to affect a magnitude of people. Starting a restaurant? That's not scalable. You're constrained to the local area and the footfall of that area. But a franchise? Now that's more scalable. Is your solution a piece of software? Then that means once that software has been built, you can scale it infinitely online without needing to worry about things like production or shipping costs, as it's all done virtually. Good luck finding infinite scale with a job. But be careful. Does your solution require your time to generate money? Let's say you were a yoga teacher that charged $100 per hour. Congratulations. You only made yourself another job disguised as a business. There's only a certain amount of lessons that you can feasibly do in one day, and therefore your income is time-bound. But if you created an online yoga class that ran 24/7 with lessons you only had to create once, now that is scalable. Scaling your solution is critical here, so do not get lost on this point. Automation also plays an important role. Systems and processes will keep your business running like a smooth machine if implemented properly. If there is something in your business that you can outsource to somebody else, or hire an employee to do it for you, assuming it financially makes sense for you to do so, then do it. Tasking yourself with everything is a bad thing. As much as you may think you're the best, there's someone out there that can do a better job than you. Once you've found a solution, it's your job to make sure that solution can be accessed by everyone in your market. It's not about your ego, and it's not about what you're passionate about. The market doesn't care about your passions. So now that you have your profitable business running with the right systems and processes in place, it's time to move on and reap what you sowed. There are two likely paths you're going to face at this point. You either continue your business or cash in and sell it. This is the acquisition, the moment someone buys the solution that you spent years building a business around. This is Instagram being acquired by Facebook for $1 billion. This is PayPal being sold to eBay for $1.5 billion, of which $165 million went straight to Elon Musk's pocket, and the countless other liquidation events that happen across the world. This is where all the effort that you spent into building your company comes to fruition. And if you choose to continue running your business, well, there's a multitude of reasons for you wanting to do so. Maybe you love the company that you built and want to stick with your baby. Maybe you think you can add more value to the company and sell it down the line for more than it's currently worth. Perhaps that business runs passively in the background, so you don't have to do much to keep the wheels turning. Or maybe it's a combination of these three things. Either way, you did it. You solved a problem that the market wanted solving, and it rewarded you favorably for doing so. And so now I ask you, what was it all for anyway?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, key lessons for founders, intending founders, and the family and friends of founders.
So, first thing for me, depending on how your journey goes, because for some, the journey may start with you working for somebody, and in the process you start a side also, and then you grow it. Depending on how your journey goes, a few thoughts come to mind. The first one, maximize experiences, maximize people who have either done it before, maximize people who have done something before, maximize people who are ahead of you. Sometimes it may be in the form of a mentor. There are business decisions that I won't take today without speaking to one or two people. Apart from praying about it, there are business decisions that I have had to put on hold because I got superior knowledge and information. So I speak to somebody, I speak to somebody about it, and it gives me the other side of it. And then I think through it and I'm like, am I ready for this now? Or I pray about it and I just don't have peace. And there are business decisions that have been taken that on the surface does not make sense. But because I have clarity in the place of prayer, I go ahead and make it and do it. The second thing is um, people in terms of depending on the business you do, sometimes family and friends are the launch pad for your business. So the business I did that I said that we had to stop at some point started because somebody was sales director in a multinational company and he recognized my skill sets working in the FMCG business. He told me his objectives. These are my objectives. I want you to deliver them. Come and work with one of my managers, senior managers, and get this done. And we did. We got it. We got it done. We got it on autopilot, and we scaled it into 5 operations. But all of that happened because a friend saw the skill and the competence in me and opened the door. Sometimes family and friends can be counterproductive in terms of discouragements, in terms of asking for unnecessary discounts. Let's call it Oshemi price. We sell this for 1,000. Ah, okay, that's fine, no, but because it's me, nko, how much will you sell it? Let me do 800 now. You have lost 200 naira, whether you like it or not. And sometimes they can be that counterproductive. Sometimes it can also be counterproductive from the angle of some people will tell you they don't do business with family or friends because they've been hurt, because there are businesses you give to family and friends that there is a level of talk that you can do. And that those are part of the challenges that happen. So you need to consider if I am going to hire a family member into this business, if the person does not do well, can I fire him or her? It's a question, it's a decision you need to make. I know somebody who fired his wife. Not that I know the person. He was upset with some things and he told his wife, sorry, you are fired. Question, can you make that kind of decision? Please answer that question for yourself. Is if you were the owner of that business, yes, those are questions you need to be able to answer. Maybe you want a family member just on the board, or you want a family member working in day-to-day operations. You need to define it. If you know you can't fire that family member, respect yourself and borrow yourself sense. If anything happens, will that family member be somebody that you can let go or somebody you can reprimand? If you reprimand the person, won't they call family meeting on your head? Ah, is it because our son is not working for you? So you are now beginning to talk to him anyhow. Those are things you need to be ready for. Another one is collaboration. Collaboration, there are businesses that we've done this year based on collaboration with several people. Somebody has the connection, he gets the business, and the business is something that he doesn't have competence or skill in. It is my line of business. We sit down, we agree it up front. We are going to do this together. And as we do this, we are going to make so money. This is the sharing formula for profit. And everybody wins. The first one you do will determine a lot going forward because it will be your integrity and your honesty speaking for you. The people that you want to do business, say, okay, let's even use a simple thing. You want to sell books. You have connections to all the printing press in the world and all that. But the truth of the matter is your best friend works as headmaster of a school. Who do you think will open the door? You can be the best salesman, you can be this, but sometimes you need somebody to collaborate with to open the door. Sometimes you need somebody who has a part of the skill you don't have, so that both of you will complement each other and make it work. That skill set I know I don't have, and I am not willing to go and learn because they bore me, they don't excite me. So just go and find the people who know those stuff and let them do it. Sometimes you work together, sometimes you pay them to do it. Um, then let me mention one more knowledge. Before you start, when you start, you need to constantly update yourself. You want to start a new business, how much of that business do you know? Who are the kings of that business that you may be disrupting? You say you want to start selling diesel. No problem. What are the nuances of selling diesel? What are the things that happen with pricing if you want to sell diesel? So you got diesel for 200 naira per liter, and between the depot and when your diesel shows up at your own place, diesel price has gone down by 10 naira to 190. What do you do? And you have bought 100,000 liters. Please calm down, don't lead. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Learn what the nuances of your profession or whatever you want to do are. Learn the regulatory things required for whatever you want to do. Because you'll be surprised. Just when you say you are starting, you will find out that there is one association somewhere that you must join. And then somebody is asking you. It happened to me. I wanted to do something, and somebody said I should provide um, the I must provide a letter or a document showing that I belong to any of these three associations. So if you function in the HR space, for example, there are things you need to know about some organizations. If you work with public sector, they may say they want something from CMD, they want something from CIPM and things like that. You must be a corporate member of CMD, you must be a corporate member of CIPM and all that. Those are things you need to know. What are the regulations? Who are the associations or agencies that will deal with whatever you say you are doing? And if you don't belong to those places, there are things, when they send a list of requirements for bids, you may not be qualified. So you need to have the right knowledge and you need to constantly update yourself going forward on things to do. Those are the ones that readily come to my mind now.
Okay. I think you have been able to cover key lessons for founders, intending founders, and the families and friends of founders. Families and friends of founders, listen up, please. In Africa, we have the culture of it's my brother, it's my sister, and they don't even care how you are even, making these things happen. But they just have this entitlement mindset that, okay, because it's this, it's that, then me, I should not even pay. Some people are still fair enough that instead of paying 100 naira, they will pay 90. Some will carry it and not pay. Some will pay for the first two. The next one they are coming for, they will ask to give them 5 at once. And now you want to give them because the first two they paid for it. Then the next time you are going to be meeting is as a family meeting, trying to settle the dispute of I've been asking for your money and you are doing it because why will you be asking your family member for money? And that's very painful. So um founders are actually human beings like every other person. They have blood running in their veins. They have worries. They have a lot of issues. They have only decided to help others to solve certain problems that they have been ignoring. That instead of us, okay, ignoring the problem like every other person, okay, let's take initiative and do this. So they need a lot of encouragement from us. They need a lot of, pushed a lot of them. Sometimes you need to push them to do the right thing, and sometimes you just need to pat them, on their back and say, hey, you're doing well. And that's very, very, very important. We already have a question from our audience, one of our audience, Dr. Charles, my very good friend, is always all out to support. I want us to ask our questions, please. Ask those questions. Some of those questions that we cannot ask here, some of them we can ask on your behalf. Some of those things you wanted to ask, you have asked already, but there are some that only you can, ask at the moment. So we'd like you to use the comment section and ask us those questions. As in, feel free to ask him any question about, what you want to know concerning the life of a typical founder of business. So let me quickly read the question for. I don't know why the platform is not allowing me to be able to project the question straight on the screen now. But let me read it from here. When did you realize that being an entrepreneur in Africa would be the defining moment in your journey in making a difference in your community? This question is interesting. Did you get that, sir?
Dr. Charles, I am coming for you. So the truth of the matter is I can't point to a definitive timeline. But what I found out was I just wanted to help people fix certain gaps. I just wanted to help people fix the nuances that were missing in their life. There were a few things, and I just found that it was a recurring decimal for me. Everywhere I walked, everything I do, it was always about fixing problems. It was always about helping people become better. That was just one of the key things for me. It just became a recurring decimal in my life. And I found out that you need to make this work. But I tell people passion is not enough. You can also make that passion bring you money. So I took that passion, found ways, looked at how some people before me had done it, and put my own unique flavor to it. And then we started building from there. By the way,
Wow.
let me say it. Let me say it. I once did one whole year that we didn't make a dime. Hello, so that you know. In fact, this morning I noticed I was looking through a folder and I saw about 60 companies that I sent proposal to. I saw it, I was looking at it this morning and laughing to myself. Interesting. About 60 physical paper proposal. Oh, those were the days of saying not email, physical paper. Went to deliver them one after the other. I saw the letters and how the Word documents that we printed out to go and deliver those letters. Two of them responded. One of them wanted to give the job, and then they even requested for invoice, and then they suspended it. So that's part of the story.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I noticed that Prince has been smiling. It's like he has a question.
Whoa, 2 out of 60. None with any positive response. um,
your audio is cracky.
Oh, yeah, it must be the network. It must be the network.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. No problem.
Is it?
No problem. Okay. So since you don't have question, let's try it on. From the question that Dr. Charles asked, I found out that it started becoming really almost impossible. I would say some people would now see that I think for you to be able to fulfill destiny or purpose, you have to be an entrepreneur. Like you have to own, you have to start something. Sometimes they feel like, okay, yeah, this is Africa. I need to start a business. I must, the problem we have, they know that okay, the problem we have centers around them. Sometimes, uh, unemployment, all of it like that. So they feel like for me to be able to do this, I need to start a business. Have you ever felt like that? That okay, if it got to a point that starting business was the last option, or yeah, the last option, and you feel like okay, is that the only way we can actually fulfill our goals, our vision, our purpose, even in Africa as it stands now?
So the first thing is I disagree with the notion that everybody must have a bill or start a business. The question is who will now do the work? That's one. Two, we are all not built to be entrepreneurs. Three, you can actually make money if it is money you want. You don't necessarily have to be a business owner to be wealthy. There are several names, and I mean loads of names of people who didn't own businesses and they were wealthy. And the most popular one, let's take Dr. Christopher Colade. There are several of them. Philip, the former GMD of UBA, he retired before he started his own, before they started the merchant bank. So there are several people that rise to the top. They don't own a business to their name. They sit on different boards or different companies and they make money and they are wealthy. So the story of we must own a business. You can own a business, have the name CEO, and still be poor, even with the title. And you can be a senior manager in a place and still and be wealthy with it. A lot of it is not just tied to the money; it's also tied to the investments. How investment savvy are you? How much knowledge, how much drive do you have to invest? What I tell people is you may not necessarily be a business owner, but at least try to be an investor. Invest in businesses, invest in shares, invest in people, just invest. And that really will drive a lot of things going forward. In Africa, know yourself, know how you are designed. Because sometimes you may even start and you don't have the grit to proceed, to push. You don't have the passion, the energy when it needs to count. All those things are required. Prince, I think Latunji is out.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just yes, sir.
Please, let's continue. We'll just wait for him. Please go ahead.
So I was going to even ask a question earlier, because in a continent like ours, and especially in a country like ours, the biggest headaches of many people when they are trying to start something is the funding part of it. And I know you are multi-dimensional across industries. Have you ever needed to fund a particular project? And of course, I'm sure you funded in different sizes, maybe in the millions and maybe in the billions. And what did you do at the times when you had to outsource this funding, when you had to go out of your way to get the funding?
So the first thing is there are times when it was my personal funds that I used to fund the business. Loads of times. In fact, there are a few businesses that we had executed before they paid. Yes, and it was my personal money. And there are a few times that I had to go meet certain people who helped me out. with funds. And that's the place where family and friends come in. I have asked a question on LinkedIn before that if you wanted to raise money today, who are the people that you will reach out to? How fast can you raise that money? And it says a lot about your network. It says a lot about the people around you. By the way, I have borrowed money before from a loan shark that I was paying 10% of the original money borrowed every month for 3 months. So use this number, borrow 1 million naira, and then you pay 100,000 every month for 3 months. And then you pay that 1 million back. Hello?
We are with you, sir.
Yeah. Those are part of the things that you have to go through. Okay, if you say, okay, this business, the profit on the 1 million is 21%. Let me give up the 10% so that I can get the 11% instead of getting zero. Instead of not executing, I prefer to take the 11% and give that person 10%. Because future businesses from that same business, I won't need that. I won't be giving out that 10% again.
Yeah.
That's how you do the maths. And you just choose not to be greedy. Even if the other person collecting the 10% feel that person is greedy with the 10%, but if that is what will get you what you are looking for, all well and good, you go all out for it.
Pretty well taken, sir. Now that Akub got his back, maybe I'll just let him paddle the ship.
Yeah. You scared? Enjoy yourself. For moments like that. We are here together. Okay. We are actually rounding up the story for today, and seriously, it's been very interesting, very truthful, and I can see all of the impacts on our audience already. People are already saying, okay, wow, that is true, that is correct. I think I'm almost making this mistake. Thank God I'm here to listen to this. I don't know why this happened, and all of it like that. People are now beginning to put names to those things that happen in their life, in their businesses, and all of it at some point that they could not even explain. Now, this is Africa, and that is why we are having this session, because we want more businesses to be able to stand and stay strong for longer time, to be able to move from one generation to the other. We have had businesses, in some part of the world that they have been able to pass from one generation to the other. There was, I think, one of the oldest business. It's in Japan. They're about like over 700 years. It has moved from one generation to the other. It has moved 7 centuries. And that's amazing. Here in Africa, if you're able to do 20 years, they will give you an award. You tried. But that's not good. we should be able to do more, because our troubles are not going to leave us. It's like, the advice they give a drunkard. They say, drink and forget your sorrows. Your sorrows will not forget you, even though you forget them. So it's not a problem that we can solve by just few years of bringing in prosperity, few years of making sense. When you are done making, the sense, the problems that have been lurking around, they will come back. Sometimes they are even 7 times wicked than they were the times you kept them out. And how can we keep them out for longer time until they commit suicide, and even though anything happens inside, they are even unable to come back? What does the future hold for founders generally, from your own perspective, in Africa? Does it look like it's going to get better? Does it look like, okay, people are becoming more responsive, and people are becoming, very, very intentional about helping the African soil? And whatever it is, does it look like we have chances in the future? The future is a place of abundance. Anything everything is possible in the future. But sometimes, when we look at what is happening in the present, we can decide projections of how much we are ready to take, of the future. So what does it look like for Africa?
So I think Africa has a lot going for it at the moment, and I mean a lot. The first thing is we've gone from being local businesses, we've gone beyond national business. We are now global businesses. We do business on a global level. We now have some names from Africa that are known across around the world. We have businesses now that do businesses on different continents. The second thing is we now have international funding. People from across the world are now funding African businesses. And there's no free money anywhere. Somebody saw potential. That's why they are bringing their money in. So nobody will pay $200 million for a business if they don't believe in that business. Every week, there is always one business raising $5 million here, $1 million there, every week. From Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Morocco, there is always a business raising money. And the people putting this money down, they are seeing the potential, they are seeing the future. By the way, a lot of the businesses putting this money down always have a 20-year plan. Not 1 year, not 5 years. It's a 20-year rolling plan that a lot of them have when they put these funds down. So they are able to plan for the next 20 years, whether you are there or not. And businesses are also moving away from, I am the one that started it, so I must be the one running it. And once you get out of that box, you are putting a level of assurance to the future of the business. Yes, the part of my children will run the business. It's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. As long as there is governance and there is structure, you are good. How many of us know Adesoye College in Ofa? The founder of that school is dead. It's being run by the children, and they are doing a great job at it. There are several businesses here in Nigeria doing the same thing run by children. As long as those children are knowledgeable, skilled enough, and have the right mindset to running that business, it's critical. So it's not necessarily a bad thing whether it's the children that take over or somebody else. You keep the business going and make everything work accordingly. You have a clearly defined structure, clearly defined governance, so that everything works whether you are there or not. And that's where scalability, automation, and all those things make things work. Even Dangote Business started a project called Project Phoenix like 8 years ago. And it's a project that focuses on the entire business, everything, the whole operations functions to an extent outside of the owner of the business. So those are things that everybody is beginning to learn now. Let the business run itself, let people take a level of decision, let things drive itself. Over time, I believe that we will have generational businesses in Africa, and we're already getting there.
Beautiful, beautiful. There is hope, and having business more come up at this time, it's one of those signals to the understanding of time and season. I just have that in me, very strong, nudge. That it's really time for Africa. A lot of things are happening already. A lot of things would happen, and seriously, it's making so much sense every day. It's making so much sense every day that people begin to see, running business as something that can be generational, something that can, be outside of them. Because you are the founder doesn't mean you should be, the CEO, you should be the this and all of it like that. People are beginning to see that, okay, yeah, what really matters is that this business is able to fulfill its, promises, and then, they do that profitably, over time. It doesn't matter who sits there at the end of our affair. Very, very interesting. Prince, you have to say something now.
Hey, I was going to ask, sir, because you mentioned earlier, and I'm sorry. Let me apologize in advance. You mentioned earlier that you lost your wife recently. Um, did you have to step away from operations at that time, or you still run through operations? Because I think it's extremely important for people to know when to balance, what to balance. It's extremely important. How did you maneuver through that time and that season?
Prince, Prince,
So,
Prince. Okay.
so at the end of the day, what keeps a business going is the ability for the business to run whether you are there or not.
Yeah.
That's the baseline truth to the whole thing. And apart from core financials and relationships, the business can function whether I'm there or not. Financials in terms of bank related matters, in terms of sign offs of this and that. Then the second thing, relationships, businesses happen by reason of you either knowing somebody or coming in contact with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can make the business work whether you are there or not. Um, then there are things that my wife used to do that you can't put a number to it. You can't quantify it. And those were the most difficult part in the whole thing to deal with. There are things that she used to be the one to vet. She'll be the one to draw out the itinerary of a lot of things. And mine is to sit down and, okay, we'll go this way and then we execute. But life happens.
Life
I hope
really
I
do
answered.
happen. Yes, you have answered. You have answered. Prince, he has answered, right? Wow, wow, wow. Now we want you to even talk to us about you know uh those companies that you have founded and you are working on now at the moment. Just tell us about them, what they offer, and yeah, you can just give us an highlight of what the future holds, for those companies.
So the main company is called 1224, 1224 Limited. And what 1224 does is in fourfold. The first one is training. We're a training business. We do all forms of training, leadership, emotional intelligence, sales and marketing, team bonding sessions, and all that. And the good thing about training is you just have to have the right set of people as facilitators on your bench who will do the facilitation. I also do a lot of training facilitations across multiple organizations. The second thing which we started this year is outsourcing, payroll outsourcing, people outsourcing. So there are companies that don't want to have the headache of this person is on our payroll. We drive that one. We make sure. So we employ the person, and they are deployed to that company. They're on our payroll. They are our own staff. We carry their pensions. We carry their salaries and everything. Whether it's a senior person, whether it's a driver, name it. There are some companies that function in Nigeria, for example, that they don't want that level of numbers in their books. So they outsource it for other people to manage. IT outsourcing is also another thing where that parts of some people's operations that they just want you to manage. Their core business is not IT, so you get the IT person who will sit there and run the place, run the IT infrastructure for them. Business transformation is something else. This is what we currently do. How can we move from where we are to what we need to be? That's where a bit of consulting work comes in. You need this level of people. Your structure needs to change. Your your business processes has to change and all that. Then we do technology services. Then I also work in a company called Oryx Africa where we do SAP solutions, whether it's Success Factors or Business by Design, which is an ERP solution. Then we develop customized solutions for organizations. Oh, this is our process. We want a solution for it. Our development team will develop it. Then there is a third business which I am co-founder. The company is based in Ireland. It's called Kiesto. It's a business currently focused on building a solution for guidance and counseling for secondary schools. It's something missing on the African continent at the moment. What we have are guidance and counseling teachers who sit with people and do a lot of stuff. Ask most people today, did you really know what you wanted to do before you left secondary school? Truthfully, be truthful to yourself. And if you knew, what happened when jammed you?
You change your mind. Or
So we
you
are
change the vehicle.
we are currently working on a solution that drives guidance and counseling throughout the school timeline. Your interests, your skill sets that have been identified, your knowledge base. I was very good in biology in school, very good. I loved biology, I loved geography. And one of the things I originally wanted to do was around medicine. But I found out over time that my temperament fitted more into other things. And that's what drove my career for a long time. I am a sanguine and a choleric. My sanguine nature allows me, I can talk till tomorrow. I can sell ice to you, you will buy and you will tell me thank you, even if you don't need it. My choleric nature is pushful. My choleric nature helps me to keep making things happen. I like attention to detail. I like people who are driven, who want results. And those things help me with my sales career. But if I wish I had gotten somebody in secondary school who could help me from JSS1 or SS1 at least to even drive a lot of things towards what I want to be. If your son tells you today now that I want to be a salesman, you'll be looking at him somehow. If he tells you I want to be a teacher, you will look at him somehow. But it may actually be the teacher Nigeria needs. I was at an event 2 months ago where the Commissioner of Education for Lagos mentioned that the best teacher she has ever met is based in Kano. The best. Now, for a Commissioner of Education saying that the best teacher she has ever met is somebody she met, a teacher she met in Kano. Half of the students were sitting on block, but he was finding ways using cardboards and different things to teach them. So those are things that we are trying to achieve with the guidance and counseling solution we are trying to push. Those are the core things we do. Then the last one is around what is called D2C, direct to consumer. Maybe you've ever been on the street seeing some people selling milk in packs on in nylon, selling in traffic, selling in those you have milk and all those things packed together in one. I had 40 people doing that. It's one of the things we do for the FMCG industry, where we try and sell directly to customers instead of waiting for you to go to a supermarket or wait for you to go to the open market to buy. We take it directly to the people on the streets, in door to door, and also in traffic. Those are part of the things that we do. That's my story. Tunji, I'm
I
done.
Hello?
Go Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I think I lost the network. Okay, okay. Prince,
Yes, sir.
okay, you're there. Okay. It's good to be back. The network was, playing me some tricks. Yeah, it's really interesting today, and I can say one thing that people can relate. People can relate, and that's one of those things that we have actually lacked in this part of the world. People see people that are doing well as demigods, and they themselves they see themselves as full gods, like not even demi now. Like, hey, don't come here. And when you ask them for, okay, how did it happen, they try to give you some
By
formulas
the
that
grace of God.
okay, sir. you know, it was great that helped us. They won't tell you when they did that and this and all of it like that. And that's why, many times people find it believed to as in difficult to believe certain like level of success because they can't say, okay, this is what this guy did. I've seen a lot of people in Africa who had so much wealth and not as much as the guys you find on the top list. But people still doubt them that this guy must have done some money rituals, for him to be able to get what does not even take him to be on the top list. And there are people on the top list that you can say for sure that yeah, this guy deserves to be there. Why? Because the process is obvious. The process is open. People can follow them up. They know, okay, when they were at one naira, $1, like that, and now it's growing. Okay, the things they are doing, how they are scaling, how they are automating, how they are making, the business to make sense and get more value, even why they are not, necessarily in one place called an office or a company or whatever it is. So this has made uh, the advanced nation to be able to tell us a lot of stories that yet we still don't want to learn. And it becomes really imperative that we begin to tell these stories by ourselves to ourselves. So that you don't say that, okay, yeah, it's because he's a white man, he's closer to God than me. He looks like God. The picture, one of those things that really, pains me is that who told them that the devil is a black man, and they made us to now look like they feel that we look like the devil. So when you see success happening with the white man, you feel like, oh, it's like God. But when it's happening here with an African, they want to question it and all of it like that. But seriously, we need to be able to own our stories. We need to be able to share them in confidence. We need to be able to let people know that yes, it is possible to on this soil for people to do well and seriously, be able to explain the process and be able to explain the process. Yeah, I think maybe I didn't hear well. Maybe when the network was breaking, maybe you touched on what the future holds, for all of those things that you are sitting on as founder, co-founder, and whatever it is. So let people have an idea of, okay, yeah, I think I'll be able to work with this, this man in the nearest future. We are working on something. Yeah, it would be nice for us to be able to work together because a friend once said that we no longer have a competition. We now have a competition, cooperating with competition. So competition, working together, collaboration to be able to advance and do things better than it's supposed to be. So what does the future hold for all of this that you are gaining experience with?
I'm a believer in you want something, you go out and get it. It's as simple as that. And I also believe that sometimes things will not be handed over to you. It will not be handed down to you. You have to go all out, push for it, show everybody that you really want it, and then you will get it. That's one. Two, I believe the future is in multiple dimensions and multiple focus. Um, I used to I used to be somebody who used to have a 3 to 7 year plan for my life up until January this year. So I used to have, I can tell you the next 5 years, this is my plan. As I am as of today, I take each day as it comes. I I've had to slow down, reevaluate a few things, simplify my life. That's a critical thing I've had to do. Simplify my life and make things work around me as simple as possible. Somebody once asked me, I thought you would be angry about this. And my response to the person was, is money involved? Said no. I said, that's a waste of annoyance. At least if I get angry, let me know I'm getting angry on something that will bring money. If it's not, why am I getting angry? Leave the anger. You will get angry. You will not get what you want. So it's lose lose. Please, just simplify your life and make life easy. It's as simple as that. So that's my story.
Okay. Okay. I think I lost that interesting part where you talked about waste of annoyance when it's not bringing money. You have to you have to bring the money back. Like that. Thank you so much. It's been a very very dear to heart session today. Different triggers have been pulled on memories, different push and pull around those things that are really there. And seriously, I want to appreciate your your strengths, your capacity, and that tenacity. I don't want to speak too much of grammar. Start looking for dictionary. Prince, what's up there?
It's going, but he didn't tell us something, by the way.
You didn't have to.
Oh, you didn't tell us your highest point the day you were just buying mods for people because something happened. One very striking point in business.
Maybe today is that day.
Buying mods for people. Okay. Well, one of the ones that I can readily remember, wasn't me working as a business owner. It was closing a particular transaction that we had chased for 5 years. Yes. One of the one of the biggest banks in Nigeria today uses one of the software that we sell. That particular sale took 5 years to get it done.
Woo.
So you can imagine the day we collected the letter saying that let's proceed with this. So that's one interesting moment that I can remember now. So that should tell you a lot. I've said a lot in one simple sentence. If I mention 5 years, if I mention, that should tell you about tenacity, not giving up, tell you about not being frustrated, always pushing, always being optimistic. I've said everything in that one line. Closing a 5 year, closing one deal that took 5 years to sell.
Interesting. That was really what popping of the champagne and whatever it was that day. Yeah, it was really what it. Yeah, sometimes you just have to enjoy the reward. Enjoy the benefit of your new level. Don't say yes. I want to pay homage to my godfather, my big gods in my father's. they gave you a Ferrari car, and as you know, you have to bring 5 people. But the the biggest chief in my hometown never even had 504. So you have to be able to enjoy the benefit of your new success. Very important. Very
Yes.
important. Making lives better. Making lives better. Three words that would describe you, and that for me, you know, it's enough. It's a summary. It's a summary, and it's something that would make sense anytime, any day. Making lives, it's really, really interesting. I like that as a slogan. I like that as a watchword. I like that as a motivator, and it's a good push, and it gives certain perspective of life. That, okay, am I sure I'm actually making life better? When you are going off the course, you can be sure that, hey, come back here. Are you making life better? With this action you're about to, take, with this step you're about to take, are you making life better? And lives now, first of all, you look at it, okay, in the place of empathy, you don't forget how you feel because you want to feel how others feel, because you are the thermometer to decide the temperature. You are looking at it, okay, yeah, if you are not properly functional, you'll not be able to tell accurately, what is happening with the other life and all of it like that. Very, very interesting. Prince, I feel like it's really a nice time today, and let's allow this great man, to have some rest. It's not easy to corner, a big man like this and start asking questions left, right, and center. You have some beautiful things to tell him. He needs so much of our nice words, encouragement, and all of it in a moment like this, times like this.
Uh, I'm personally encouraged. I'm sure many of our viewers are also encouraged. I mean, the story of great men is what inspires those who are aspiring for greatness. So, thank you so much, sir, for taking out time to be with us, and thank you for everything you've done over the years. Thank you so much. We're grateful. Africa is grateful. I'm sure the future of Africa is also grateful. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Now, anybody that wants to start something now know what to get and what not to get, what to avoid and what you must definitely go for. Starting anything requires principle, precept upon precept, line upon line, a little here, a little there. You must sit down to first of all count the cost. Don't just, because of passion, you don't know how to swim. You want to rescue somebody that is drowning in Pacific Ocean. Both of you will need help. Sit down and know what it really, costs for you to found anything you want to. And as a matter of fact, listen, he said, you only get better with time. Everything he has done are yet experiences for those things he is yet to do. And there is a touch, for me. Yes, as much as we want to get everything done, be mindful that life can be as simple as you want to live it. Make life be as simple as possible for yourself. In the complexity, there are a lot of mistakes and oversight that can happen. Blind spots can happen in the complexity. But when it is simple enough, you can be sure that yes, you get close to the accuracy that makes life really work. I want to appreciate you again, sir. Thank you so much for making out time for us today. It's a
Thank you.
big, big, big win for us, to bring you around and to be able to inspire the African community about those things that are necessary, and for us to have more confidence that it is possible here on this soil. You understand? We can also plant apple, in Africa. We can also plant, grape, in Africa. We can do those beautiful things you see out there in Africa. It's just for you to know what the requirements are Go for them, put them in place, and just do the great stuff. It's a big time for us here today. I can say that with the whole of my mouth. Thank you so much for the time today, and we are so blessed to have you around. Before you go, we'd like you to just give us one or two pieces of advice. Okay, what you think we need to do definitely on this platform. We're going to be having founder story. It's a separate one from the general business MuMu. General business MuMu is, we bring people, they come to tell us about certain things that are more technical, academic, stuff like that, because we also want to be able to equip people with those know-how, those things that are necessary to get business done. But the climax of it is, okay, all of those things you have been learning, look at it in the life of somebody who has put it to use and founded something. And that's why we have the founder story. That, okay, we bring from time to time, it will not be too common. We bring people who can tell us the truth, and people can relate with it and can say, yeah, that's true. I think I can see myself in that picture. I think I know when to transition, how to transition seamlessly, and not, have those itches. And yes, you are trying to prove a point, and because of that, you have the CEO badge. You are trying to prove a point, and because of that, you say, yes, everybody is founded a company. Me too, I can. You have to know your space. You have to know what you can do. You have to know what you are called to do. So we would like to hear from you, sir. Let's know one or two things that you feel we need to do, or we should, keep doing.
So I like the current structure. I like the way this has gone. I like the relaxed mode and all that. I think it may be an opportunity for people to even connect. So, for example, if there's somebody here that feels you want somebody on your advisory board or even the main board of the organization, I am available to help drive the direction of the business. That may be something somebody is looking for here. Mentorship, it may be an opportunity to pull some people to come and sit and put a level of governance to their own business. Another one is I keep telling people, oh, come and mentor me. Two things to mentorship. There are so many people that you can mentor directly because of your time. The second thing is the mentee needs to really show that they want mentorship. Because if you say that you want mentorship and I'm the one chasing you, not ready. It's true.
It's mentolating.
So it's time. There's so much I can do with my time. So you need it's an avenue for people to identify people that can help solve their own business issues in terms of, okay, let me reach out to this person, even if it is once a month. Let me once in a while connect with him, tell him the issues, and seek his advice or her advice. Let that component be available. It's an opportunity for people to network more. So those are things I think we can add to the equation. Apart from you learning today what I've done, the mistakes and all that, you could also connect people to their own organizations for future purpose. I hope that
Thank you
helps.
so much, sir.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
very well, sir. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much, sir.
you.
Prince,
Yes, sir.
you don't have any word now?
Oh,
Okay.
no. Yes.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been seeing a lot of body language. We have really taken the time of our special guest today. Thank you so much for giving us that time. That's the most precious thing, most precious resource in the world. Time. You can get more money, you can get more cars, you can get more houses, but you can't get more time. And it's really precious. We do not take that for granted. Thank you today for giving us all of this in this time that you have allowed yourself to be available and valuable to us. I want to do a shout out to everybody out there. It's a pleasure to have you. You have stayed. Some people came in and they left. Some people stayed till the end. It's a pleasure. We do not take granted. We want you to be able to, allow other people know about this. Share it, do the comment, make it trendy. If you like, you can like it. You can put any reaction you want on it. We have this, running concurrently on LinkedIn and Facebook. I don't know if YouTube actually fixed, their own end, but they told me they have some issues. But at the moment, we have it on Facebook and we have it on LinkedIn. So be free to engage through the comment section. You can always come back to matters and address them if there is need. Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to have you. This is Business MuMu, and we are on the Founder Story series of Business MuMu. We have a lot, coming in stock, and we will really hope that you find them valuable, to the advancement of your business and to the betterment of Africa in general. Thank you so much. We are going to be having our newsletter, coming up. It will just be like a text of summaries from different sessions that we have had in the past, like that, so that some people who cannot make up with the video can read the newsletter and they can still get value from it. And very well, we are going to be very open to your suggestions on how to get that and get the best out of it. Thank you so much today. I would not like to further take the time of our special guest today. So let's allow him to go and rest and then enjoy some weekend. Thank you so much, sir. You are free to go,
Thank
sir.
you for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, Prince, you are welcome, sir. We are going just right away. We are saying goodbye to everybody. But before we do that, we just want them to know that, okay, also things we are planning for them. Yes, we are having a conference that we are working on. We want to be able to have people who have business ideas, people who have started business 2 years and less, and come pitch your business in front of our very first class investors, business people, and all of it like that. So when you're able to win their heart, you're able to make your business case the best way possible, then you can be up for something really great. We are definitely planning that it's going to be a digital conference. We have people from our past special guests on this program to be part of the program, to facilitate and to also judge those ideas, and we can see the direction for Africa in that upward movement. Thank you so much for staying with us till this time. Please do well, help us to be able to promote this, let more people know about this. When the good is silenced, the evil become powerful. So let's make the right thing to become popular so that we can determine what really will happen for us in our world. It's a pleasure and it's good to have you all here. Prince, I want to appreciate you again for finding out time to be here. It would have been really lonely without you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Let's meet again, and behind the scene, let's do some laughing and enjoy ourselves. I'm going to be ending the stream now, and we are good to go. It's good to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.